All right. So, you know how everyone's been glued to the 50 Cent Diddy doc on Netflix? It's got all this never-before-seen footage, right? Diddy greeting fans, private conversations with lawyers, the usual PR spin. But here's the thing. It's missing the damn meat. And that's where Gene Deal comes in. Now, Gene Deal isn't just some random dude. He was Diddy's bodyguard back in the day, right in the thick of the bad boy era. East Coast versus West Coast beef. Vegas, the night Tupac got shot. L.A. when Biggie got killed. Gene was there. He saw it all. So naturally, everyone figured he'd be all over this documentary, spilling the tea. But nope, nada. Not a single clip. And Gene's finally telling everyone why. And let me tell you, it's explosive. Apparently, the documentary team, headed by director Alex Stapleton, came sniffing around wanting Gene's footage, his stories, everything. But then, according to Gene, she basically told him that 50 Cent didn't have final say on payments or content. Like, 5-0 is just a figurehead. Don't worry about him. And the money they were offering, Gene felt it was a straight-up insult. I mean, this dude was practically a fly on the wall during some of the biggest moments in hip-hop history. He's got insider information nobody else has, and they're trying to lowball him. So he walked. But it's not just about the money. That's a big part, but not all of it. Gene says the documentary straight up censored some seriously heavy stuff. Things that, according to him, 50 Cent probably got cold feet about, including the real story behind Jake Robles' death, the truth about the East Coast-West Coast war, and, get this, Diddy knowing Tupac was about to get shot at Quad Studios. According to Gene, the whole East Coast versus West Coast thing wasn't some regional battle. It was Bad Boy versus Death Row, Diddy versus Suge Knight. East Coast artists were still welcome on the West Coast, and West Coast rappers were still respected in New York. This was never really about regions. It was about two powerful executives. Death Row even tried to calm things down. They wanted to arrange a meeting between Tupac and Biggie, but Diddy refused to participate or send anyone in his place. That detail is rarely mentioned. Regarding Jake Robles, Gene says Mark Curry knows who was actually responsible. It wasn't a government plot like many believe. It was a Jamaican man from the Bronx who was later killed by police at a nightclub. The most serious claim involved the Quad Studio shooting. Gene says Diddy, Andre Harrell, and Jimmy Henchman were together in Jimmy Henchman's office that day. Biggie and his crew didn't even know Diddy was in the building. Diddy was supposed to be upstairs with Biggie, who was working on junior MAFI material, but instead he stayed behind watching him. Gene says this was because Diddy controlled Biggie's publishing, and Biggie was trying to escape that deal by putting the rights under someone else's name. While Diddy was there, Jimmy Henchman allegedly told him they planned to scare Tupac, because Tupac owed him money. Tupac was expected to come to the studio to record and settle the debt. Gene claims Diddy knew what was about to happen. Jimmy Henchman explained the plan, and instead of warning Biggie or Tupac, Diddy stayed where he was and waited. He was present when Tupac was shot and did nothing to stop it. Gene believes jealousy played a major role. Tupac naturally attracted women, while Diddy relied on money and influence. Gene recalls thinking that many women wouldn't have been around if Diddy wasn't famous. Diddy even admitted he struggled talking to women, and Gene believes that insecurity fueled resentment toward Tupac. Gene also says he personally saw a $1 million check. A man named Zip showed off a new car and then revealed the check. Say it came from Barry Hankerson and Jimmy Henchman for Blackground Records shortly after Tupac's death. Gene believes tracing the check could answer many questions, since it went through a bank and left records. He also mentions Kirk Burroughs, Bad Boy's president, who allegedly kept detailed notes and claimed money was spent sending people to Vegas around the time Tupac was killed. Gene can't confirm that himself, but says those records could be critical. As for Biggie's death, Gene says he was there and that the truth is different from what people believe. Before traveling to Los Angeles, he received a warning call from a man named Unique, a powerful drug figure in prison at the time. The message was simple: vest up. Then the call ended. Gene received another warning through a woman. Unique said, "They're coming out. They're coming to get you." In response, Gene called Kurt Burrows to request extra security. At the time, there were only 4 guards for Diddy, Biggie, and the whole crew. That was far from enough. Diddy, however, dismissed the concerns and didn't take action. Shortly after, Chaz Williams contacted Gene with similar warning. Gene was aware tension was building for multiple reasons. The Jake Robles incident, a phone call from Biggie that led to the Winder Bagel Shop being shot up, Diddy's confrontation with a man at Soul Train, and of course, Tupac's murder. Gene went to Andre Harrell's house, where Diddy was staying, and told him bluntly that people were trying to kill them. Diddy's reaction was dismissive. "Gene, I don't want to hear that." He also told Gene he didn't have to go to L.A. if he didn't want to. Later, Gene discovered that Clark Kent, a DJ and VP at Motown, had been in Biggie's room the night before the murder. Clark asked Biggie what he was doing, and Biggie explained that Diddy and Drock had set up the party for him. It wasn't a random event. It was planned. At the Peterson Museum, Gene was extremely cautious, spotting blood everywhere and keeping his gun ready. But Diddy ordered him into the car. Gene was furious, especially after Diddy threatened to fire him if he refused. He got in but instructed the driver to push through the next 3 lights, trying to create distance. While crossing one light, someone aimed a gun at Biggie, and then shots rang out. Gene shouted at the driver to turn back, but the driver continued away. When they returned, everyone was out of Biggie's car, except him. Gene and Tone chased the shooter's car, but lost him. Gene later learned that a hospital was only 2 blocks from the museum, but the driver took Biggie to one 30 minutes away. His last words to Biggie were, "Whatever y'all do, don't let him go to sleep. Keep him up." Biggie replied, "Just do it." Gene believed that had they gone to the closer hospital, Biggie might have survived. Gene isn't claiming Diddy personally shot anyone, but he argues that Diddy set the stage for the violence. He released tracks like "Who Shot Ya" after Tupac's murder, refused peace talks, and still took Biggie to L.A. despite repeated warnings. Gene's point, if you create the conditions for something to happen, and it does, aren't you responsible? Not directly paying someone, but by planning situations, refusing peace, and stirring conflict. Did Diddy indirectly set events in motion that led to Tupac and Biggie being killed? And now the question remains, why did 50 Cent leave all of this out? It's explosive information that could have made the documentary far more revealing. There are a few reasons why this might have happened, even if some sound a bit weak. First, the legal angle. Kef is currently on trial for Tupac's murder. While I'm not a lawyer, it's easy to imagine 50 Cent's legal team freaking out if Gene's claims were included. They'd probably say, you can't drop unverified allegations while there's an ongoing federal case. Netflix will get sued, and 50 doesn't want that heat. Second, credibility. 50 wants the documentary to be taken seriously, like Surviving R. Kelly, something impactful. Gene Deal is entertaining, but some consider him a conspiracy theorist. Including him might make parts of the doc seem less credible. Cutting him out could be a way to make the documentary more legally and publicly bulletproof. Third, money. Gene likely wanted a high fee for his footage and story. 50 Cent is a businessman first, and if the cost was too high, he probably decided, fine, we'll tell the story without him. In the world of hip-hop documentaries, business comes first. Meanwhile, other wild things were happening. Diddy reportedly sent flowers to 50 Cent at Club 11 in Miami, but these weren't just any flowers. According to a funeral director, they were funeral arrangements, sending a clear message, I'm coming for you. After hearing all this, it's hard not to give Gene Deal the benefit of the doubt. He was actually there, has consistently shared these details for years, and isn't making it up for attention. He revealed things 50 Cent either couldn't or wouldn't include, from Diddy knowing about Tupac's Quad Studios shooting beforehand, to the $1 million check tied to Tupac's murder, to the ignored warnings before Biggie's death, and the way Diddy allegedly created the environment that led to both killings. This evidence was explosive, risky legally, potentially damaging the credibility, and possibly too expensive to include. Whatever the reason, 50 Cent left it out. But Gene isn't staying silent. He's laying it all out for everyone to hear. Whether 50 Cent or Diddy like it or not, he's making sure the story gets told.